G'day everybody, I'm Scott Poynton and I'm concerned about the world's forests, and they're disappearing at a terrible rate all around the world, but particularly in the tropics, where we lost last year, some estimates say, around 10 million hectares, a vast area full of rich biodiversity and home to so many indigenous and local communities. Not to mention all of the carbon that sits in this forest that's going up into the atmosphere once these magnificent forests are felled. It's a huge problem for climate change. What are we doing about it? Well, we've got NGOs campaigning against companies. We've got companies making no deforestation commitments. These are good things, but that doesn't seem to be working because we're still losing forest. I think there are successes, but at the end of the day, I think we've got to get people to talk more to each other and not just throw bricks at each other, but to actually sit down around a table and work out solutions, forest by forest. There are global forums for that. There was one recently in Norway. These are good things, getting people together. But I think what we've got to do is really go forest by forest, region by region, country by country. And so in April this year, I travelled to the Ivory Coast, where we walked in the forest with the government Forest Service, SODAFOR of Ivory Coast, with community members, with NGOs and with companies. And we talked a lot about what could happen. We planted some trees together. At the end, we had a surreal moment when the Forestry Department played this magnificent video of the BBC Earth, the program by Sir David Attenborough. And we had these magnificent images and beautiful music filling the forest, not to mention the magnificent sounds of the birds and the insects. It was a great experience. We had over 250 people walk with us. And I think there's an essence there that if we want to save forests, let's get into the forest, where it's hot, where it's humid, but where the problems really are, where we can understand what we might do as solutions. And that was the idea of the first ever global walk and talk for forests and people in the Ivory Coast this April. I hope you enjoy the video, just a few shots from what we did, and I hope you enjoy walking through the forests with us, and that together we might be able to do something to save these magnificent, precious forests of the world. So here we are, walking in the forest. It's the second walk and talk we've done here in Ivory Coast, and this one is with the Forestry Department. Lots of people from the community we have some company people, we have some NGO people. So the idea is to get people together, talk about the forest, and to feel what it's like to be in the forest so that we can work out ways to protect it better in the future. Here's Jerome.
Yeah.
There he is, we're walking together. So the big challenge for the forest here, of course, we've seen evidence of hunting.
Yeah.
But the other thing we've got here, of course, is not so much in this forest, which is good news, but chopping the forest down for agricultural products.
Yeah.
So for palm oil, for cocoa, for rubber. That's the big threat to the forests here in Ivory Coast. It's a threat to the forest all around the world, in fact. And that's what the TFT team is doing, working with the Forestry Department here to see what we can do to... we work with the farmers, with the NGOs, with the companies, with the government.
With Red Plus.
Yeah, with Red Plus, with all the people here to see what we can do together. Because we're not going to solve the problem if we're fighting with each other. I think too much, there's a lot of fighting going on. And what we're trying to do, with this walk today, is get across the idea of working together to find solutions to protect the forest. That's it. Right, John?
Yeah, I'm very happy. A little bit warm here, but yeah, we're happy really to have done this walk and talk for people and for forest. And we are really happy to have the different, group of people coming here. Like you said, we are farmers. We have also NGO. We have state institutions.
Got some politicians.
We have the African Development Bank.
There's the African Development Bank there behind us.
Yeah, so it is really a melting pot of people working here, and yeah, we're happy. We're happy. Thank you, Scott, for coming.
Great to be here.
Yeah, to be here and join the walk and talk.
Fantastic.
For forests and people.
That's it.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, mate. What if it was just as simple as getting people out into the forest to fall in love with the forest again and not see it as something just to chop down for human benefit? What if we understood the real benefits that the forest gave us? It gives us oxygen, gives us food, and it gives us other species to appreciate, not necessarily to eat, but just to be happy that they're here with us. What if it was as simple as just getting people walking and talking in the forest?
I'm sure there's more to it than that, but I do think that's a great starting point, because we're not sitting behind our desks in an air-conditioned room with everyone in their positions. We're out in the forest together. When you can hear the birds and hear the insects and see the sunlight coming down through the trees here, it's just such a beautiful experience. And you wonder to yourself, how could we chop this down? So I think walking and talking in the forest might be a new way to try and help people understand the beauty of what we've got. And just what we might need to do to protect it is not fight with each other, but talk with each other and agree ways forward. It's not that straightforward. I'm not naive. I've been in this game a long time, but I don't think anything else works. I think walking and talking together, searching for solutions together is the way to go. Let's see.
La pub des enfants. La pub des enfants.
So every now and then we get the sunlight breaking through the forest canopy, hitting the ground here, makes for some beautiful light, and we love it. It's warm, it's humid, but it's a lot cooler here under the forest than it is out when we were walking in the palm oil plantation the other day. And we've got some beautiful big trees. Have a look here behind me. Still some nice trees here. They haven't all been cut down. Forest is regenerating. It's a good news story here. Another important forest here on Ivory Coast disappearing as we speak, as farmers chop down the trees for cocoa. It does go into international supply chains, so we've got to work on that too. Here behind me we've got a typical tree from the tropical forest with the beautiful buttress roots you can see there. It's just beautiful here, and I've let a few people go by, so I've got a moment of silence. Let's just enjoy that for a second. It's just great being in the forest. And I'm just loving the sounds of the insects and the birds. Got one of our fellow walkers here. Good work, mate. It's just great being in the forest with all these people, and they're enjoying it. Not all of the 200 have come the whole walk, but quite a lot, I tell you. Listen.
Yes. Anago, Alupeo, Kilode. C'est la randonnée, hein?
Oui.
On chante.
On
Voilà.
chante.
Anago, Alupeo, Kilode. Pour tuer.
Tout droit.
Yeah.
Il est bien droit.
So I've come off the track a bit, and we're standing here in the forest. I can still hear the people. But I just wanted to get off the track and let you see a little bit what it's like to be right in the middle of the forest. The people are coming along, they're talking with each other, which is the purpose of the walk, of course. Get them talking to each other, that's what they're doing. I do like that silence though when they've gone past, and all you can hear is the insects and the birds.
Traduire toute notre reconnaissance et nos remerciements. Merci beaucoup de vous être joints à nous pour cette petite manifestation. Alors, sur ce, je pense que nous allons passer rapidement à l'opération de...
BBC Earth, fantastic, in the forest. Look at that. Isn't that magnificent? Who would have thought? I thought we were going to have some PowerPoint presentation. Silly me. Look what we've got. BBC there. Beautiful.
Forêt ensemble. C'est incroyable pour moi. C'est une grande chose. Comme le directeur il a dit que c'est très important pour protéger les forêts, mais c'est la chance pour protéger les forêts avec les gens. Ça, c'est la raison pour l'aider pour parler et marcher ensemble dans les forêts. C'est difficile pour protéger les forêts juste avec les commandes. On doit parler avec tout le monde, les planteurs, les ONG, les gouvernements, les sociétés. Ça, c'est l'idée pour aujourd'hui. Pour marcher ensemble, pour chercher pour les solutions, pour les protéger les forêts. Ça, c'est la première fois que nous avons fait un marché, parler dans les forêts, dans le monde en fait. La première fois, ici, dans la Côte d'Ivoire, avec Sodefo, avec les ONG, tout le monde. J'espère qu'après, aujourd'hui, nous pouvons faire des marchés encore une fois, ou plusieurs fois ici en Côte d'Ivoire, et peut-être dans l'autre pays aussi, parce que les forêts dans le monde, c'est disparu. C'est disparu très vite. C'est un grand problème pour nous, parce que comme le monsieur Sangré, le directeur général, il a dit que les forêts c'est important pour l'oxygène, pour la vie, pour l'autre espèce, pour nous en fait, pour suivre. Donc, j'aimerais faire merci beaucoup pour les partenaires de Sodefo et tout le monde pour venir aujourd'hui avec nous et planter des arbres et bon marché, bon parler ensemble. Merci beaucoup.
So these trees are pioneer species, and when there's a gap, like you can see here, where something's fallen down or a tree's been felled, these are often the first ones that come back. They've got these big handle-like leaves. You see them all over Africa really, these amazing trees that come back into the light, and they provide the shade below for the other species to come in later.
On va passer toute une journée ici, c'est déjà bon.
Come on, how you going?
Yes!
And here we are on the other side. It's been a great walk, had lots of people walking, still got some coming. Just had a great time here. Sorry to say goodbye to the forest. Here's the guys. Sorry to say goodbye to the forest. Still under a lot of pressure here. Hunters in there. Anyway, let's see what we can do here in Ivory Coast and elsewhere in the world to walk and talk for forests and see if we can find some solutions to these problems. Hope you're well.